And joining us now is the Cardinal Hall of Famer, Vince Coleman. And this is how you looked on Channel 5 in 1987 with Art Holliday after you clinched the division.
They're having quite a celebration now. The best in the world, right?
We got an all-star at every position. Jack Clark, Tommy Hurd, Ozzie Smith, Terry Pendleton, Willie McGee, Tony Pena.
All right, boy, you remember that like it was yesterday, right?
Oh, first I have to say praise and thanks for Jesus Christ for giving me the opportunity to even put on a St. Louis Cardinal uniform. Being here in St. Louis is one of the greatest moments of my life. Whenever I see that red and white, I'm walking through the airports and I see that red and white. I walk into a stadium, I just get electricity, chills just run through your body. Those things that, you'll never forget. No fans rock the house like Cardinal fans. How can I give my love and gratitude and respect? They're so loyal, very enthusiastic. I mean, when they come to a ball game, when you put on that uniform, there's nothing like it. And when once you put that uniform on, it's a great organization, great city, and they treat you like royalty here.
Especially 1985, your Rookie of the Year, 110 stolen bases, and then you had that incredible game in Wrigley where you stole 4 bases in that game. We have video. How do you remember it?
Well, it was a situation where I needed 1 base to break the Juan Samuel rookie record, and it was late in the ball game. It was like the 5th inning, and it was Scott Sanderson on the mound, and I knew his he kind of flinched when he was getting ready to deliver to the plate. So I was letting Willie know that I was going to go. But when I overslid third base, Ron Say had to come back and tag me. But I know I can't go there, so I got to get up and when I was in the minor league, we used to work on this play, running down in a pickle, they would call it. George Kissel was running down in a pickle. So you want to get the guy going towards you, then you make a fake, and then you come back again. And now the pitcher was supposed to cover home plate. He got caught up in being a fan, and therefore no one was covering home plate, and therefore I was safe.
Oh, that is awesome. All right, so this year we lost the legend, the Hall of Famer, Whitey Herzog. And outside of his family, I don't know anybody who loved Whitey more than Vince Coleman.
No, if it wasn't for Whitey Herzog, it wouldn't have been Vince Coleman. Whitey loved me, and I knew that. I mean, it was like, Whitey was such a profound impact on my life, on my career, teaching me how to play the game, teaching me how to play the game the right way, teaching me how to respect my opponents, but at the same time, he wanted me to kill them too. It was one situation where I had led the league in stolen bases for my first 3 years in the league, and I always had 50 stolen bases by the break. But in 1988, there was a conspiracy against Vince Coleman. Everybody started slide stepping and, quick pitching and balking. They would take their chance. And so now I couldn't get a good jump. And therefore, it kind of like was bothering with me that I couldn't get a good jump or get a good lead. And so therefore, at the break, I only had 30 stolen bases. And that wasn't very appealing to Whitey because I wasn't going. And so he set me down at the beginning of the second half of the season, and he called me into his office and he said, "Vince, what are you thinking out there?" I said, "Because you're not going." I said, "Well, Whitey, I don't want to hurt the team. I was thinking that I would hurt the team." And he said, "Well, thinking is not one of your strong suits. I want you to go. I just want you to go. Don't worry about that. Let me do the thinking. You know what, Vince, you are the best base stealer I ever seen." He said, "They can't stop you. They can only try to contain you." So I went out that second half and stole 58 bases and ended up with 88 that year. And all because of Whitey believed in me. When he wrote that lineup every day, he had my name in there, only because he knew every day when I came to that ballpark, I was going to come with compassion, passion that I was going to go out and dominate.
So it does take a certain arrogance to be a great base stealer. Rickey Henderson had it. Explain it.
I call it confidence. Confidence. I mean, coming up as a kid, I wasn't the kid that was the best, so I had to work hard at everything that I did. I didn't have a scholarship going into college. I was a walk-on at Florida A&M, and I made the baseball team. And then I was a 10th round draft pick, with the Cardinals. And I took that as an insult personally, because I had led the nation in stolen bases 2 straight years out of college. And they say, well, your competition level was only against HBCU schools. It wasn't like you went to Notre Dame or Stanford or University of Florida or Florida State. So I say, well, you know what? Every time I get on, I'm going to steal. Whitey, when I can remember like it was yesterday when I got called up to the big leagues, and I went into Whitey's office and he said, you know what, you have 2 rules. You know what your 2 rules are? Every day you leave the ballpark, you check the board to make sure you're here on time, and the other one, you have the green light. And that's it. And that's the only thing that Whitey ever said to me. And then it was one time that Whitey ever got mad at me in 1988. And like I said, it was conspiracy against the league. And, you know, everybody was quick pitching and everything. And that, you know, he made sure that I understood my role. And my role was to get on, set the table for everybody else. Because whatever I did, Willie was going to follow. Then there was Ozzie, it was Terry Pendleton, and so on and so forth. But we had the best base running team. And the only way you can do that is that you got a manager that believes in you and knowing that he's going to give you that opportunity. And our job was to go out and analyze the pitches and capitalize off their mistakes.
Even though you live on the West Coast, you're still involved in St. Louis charities. Why? And who
Well,
are they?
because, you know, I think Bank of America has done a great job. They teamed up with Marilyn Bush and Katie Fisher. They have done a great job with the Boys and Girls Club here. And I think that that's one of the things that that motivated me, you know, being in that environment coming up. And now when you come home from school, you got a place to go do your homework. And then you might have practice like 5 o'clock. But those 3 hours in there between the time you get out of school till you have practice, you know, that's idle time is the devil's workshop, you know. So, but that was a place you know, and I watched the program with Denzel Washington when he puts his name. He's an ambassador for Boys and Girls Club up in New York, and that's how he was raised. And when I did this camp last year with Bank of America here at Busch Stadium, and I was like, I see these kids, and I look into their eyes, and that was the same thing of me growing up, and I can identify with these kids here in the inner cities, and so. You know, that's something that I've been pushing for. I want to. This year, they have a great baseball team. I want to be a coach, you know, with those guys. You know, they could be an inspiration to those guys because the Cardinals won't hire me, so I let them. Maybe I can go out there and work with these kids.
Final thought. In 30 seconds, sum up how Vince Coleman would like to be remembered.
I'd like to be remembered as one of the hardest working baseball players that was appreciative for having the opportunity to get a chance to play baseball. And there's no better city, no better organization. You know, Mr. Bush did a great job of organizing everything he did and bringing in Whitey. And, you know, and Whitey brought in a great coaching staff. You know, he always had the right people at the right time. And because I had talent, but it was the fundamentals and the things I needed to clean up to be a great baseball player. And because of that, you know, Whitey always instructed for us to be in the community and go out and thrive and help other people. And I think that's one of the things that I lean on most with anything else. And if it wasn't for Whitey Herzog, there wouldn't have been Vince Coleman.
Good to see you, sir. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.